Voice of the Sea, learning from experts across the ocean.
Welcome to Voice of the Sea.
This time on Voice of the Sea, we explore the importance of fish ponds. In ancient Hawaii, fish ponds were a primary source of food for the people. Cultural experts Kimokeo Kapahulehua and Joylyn Paman share their knowledge about the important legacy of fish ponds in Hawaii. We start off with Kimokeo investigating the Ko'ia'ia fish pond to learn about its age and history. Fish ponds today serve as examples of enduring cultural practice and sustainable farming. The 3-acre Ko'ia'ia fish pond is one of 44 known ponds on the island of Maui.
This fish pond was built in the year 1600. We had a carbon dated material sent away to find out how old it is, this pond.
What material did they look at?
The sand and the color of the sand. So we took sand, deep down and sent it away. We sent different parts of the pond to them, Where that end of the wall is, you see the gap? That's going to be the gate where the wave is going like that. So our wall is like 1,100 feet long. And the gate is called Makaha. Maka means eye of the sea. Ha is the breadth of the ocean. You know what I mean? So the Makaha would be the gate that we would use the material from the mountain, which would be the ohia wood. And the rope would be either olona or would be the coconut sanef. The mountain provided us all this material to make things to catch your fish.
Right. So the mountain provided you everything from the gate on the fish pond to the canoe that you'd use to go out into the sea.
Including the fish net. And including, everything that, including your spear. You need to know your forest. If you didn't know mauka and the material, then you would have to catch the fish by your own hand. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be impossible, but it make it a lot easier for you not to put your hand where the vana is at or the sea urchin.
Loko or Hawaiian fish ponds are man-made ponds built by our kupuna, Hawaiian ancestors, to enclose an area of the ocean, creating a natural environment to make it easier to harvest fish. Fish ponds are a self-sustaining ecosystem in that no outside inputs are required. The energy that feeds the system is the sun. As the sun comes down and feeds the phytoplankton and zooplankton, that is in turn what feeds the fish, feeds the crabs, feeds the shrimp, feeds everything in the system. Us as human beings don't have to touch anything in the pond except when we want to harvest. Hawaiian fish ponds can act as a natural ecosystem.
Let me show you the wall. We've experienced some damages for the tsunami that we had in March 11th. So what happened is they brought the wall over and brought a lot of sand inside, so our wall is pretty shallow. The wall is about 1,100 feet long and has to be almost like a 12 feet base and end up on the top almost like a 4 feet, But you would have to make the wall high enough, like how it is, to, on the highest tide, it would be almost like a foot higher than the highest tide of the year. Because if it was very low like that, it would, so like that there has to go up higher. All of this has to go up higher. So, and the tsunami changed the ground, but traditionally, your wall will be 1 feet higher than the highest tide of the year.
And so now that it is broken down, how do you raise it up?
We would have to go out and keep on building it up. The rocks are here. They've been here from the year 1600. They come from Haleakala. So what happened is, as the island is raised up in its beginning stages, and as the rain cuts the island off, those rocks fall into the ravines. And then the rain will bring the rocks down to the level. So these rocks didn't roll down to here, but they rolled about 2 miles away. So these rocks were rolled out with skips or carried out to make this wall. Right over here is where the stream used to flow right to the ocean. So now it doesn't flow at all because of a lot of our stream is diverted. And so we don't have a jet stream down. So if we had a jet stream, the water would come right here. This is one of the streams, you know. So come, I'll show you the stream so you can show the stream and how the rocks, where they got the rocks from. So you're asking me where the rocks come from. So they came right across here, straight behind those houses. We never had houses before. So the process was that the wall used to go all the way up, you know. And they said, oh, you cannot build a wall all the way up. You only can build them between the highest tide and the lowest tide. Well, this wall would have been all the way up and no sand would have gone in my pond.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So culturally, I would have built it all the way up here, right?
And then you would have been safe.
But now I don't build it up here, so now the sandbar building here. So when low tide, my fish cannot swim or play like how they're supposed to swim and play. So building the wall, you have to have a face. So you want to make sure that the wall is face here, yeah? So the face is alo, like aloha, yeah? And then it has like an opu, so you can lock it in. So the wall has a face and an opu, so you can lock it in. So that guy would be upside down, so he won't move. So you want to look at the face like this, like this, like this. And now the bigger rocks are on the bottom, the smaller rocks are on the top. And so you really want your wall to look consistently like this, you know? The face. It's kind of crooked now because of the tsunami, and we just kind of took the rocks and put it on so we don't lose it. Right now the tsunami has, below us is 2 feet of wall, you know?
And will you move the sand out?
Yeah, so now we have to go out there, get those rocks and rebuild. So if you ever seen a Loko i'a, the first thing came to your mind was, if you came with a canoe, you're gonna blow your pool to ask permission to come. If you didn't blow your pool, then you came for another reason, right? You came to take. But if you seen the wall, you wouldn't want to come take from me. Because my people put that many rocks on the wall for them to protect their family. They have the power and the strength. So this is not the place you would want to come and play with the people. They've been putting stones for a long time. So they can throw stones to you with a slingshot, but they're very, very strong people. And also that tells you that this village, because they have a Loko i'a, was totally intact. Anything behind, the women, the men, the children, was really, really strong. The houses were beautiful. The mats, the things the ladies made was beautiful. The men canoes was great and strong because that represents the signature of the village. These are strong people. So anything they had behind them, they took care of. So they can take care of you too. Just the Loko i'a wall alone will signify this is not the place to stop and make trouble. It's the place to come in with great aloha because I have the best gift for you. I have fresh fish waiting for you.
The Curriculum Research and Development Group in the College of Education at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. CIDG's training roots go back over 40 years. Through professional development programs, curriculum workshops, research on teaching methodology, individualized school and district training, and so much more. The Curriculum Research and Development Group, improving schools, improving education. CIDG.
Voice of the Sea, learning from experts across the ocean.
Hawaiian fish ponds were built nearly 2,000 years ago and are an amazing feat of engineering and community work. Imagine if you had a refrigerator that was always stocked with fresh fish. Back in ancient Hawaii, they didn't have refrigerators, but they did have fish ponds. Fish ponds allowed them an easier way and a more consistent way, as well as a more sustainable way to harvest fish from the ocean. As the fish come into the pond, they live, they survive. As they go out, we can harvest them, and in fact, sometimes we let some out so that they can start the process all over again and bring babies back into the pond.
are dead coral. These are, you call it mortar. This is what we used to put, we put behind, in between the wall so that it'll lock the wall together.
The mortar.
The mortar, this is our mortar. It's not mixed with water or pounded by water. We just put it in there and acts like a mortar. So where the rocks, so you can lock the rocks over there, these coral. So we would gather them and put it on it. Right now the wall's damaged, we have to go, but we would put it on the top and try to make it flat to lock everything up. So it goes down. Find a place so the big rocks won't move. The pressure of the wave will keep it there.
And then it gives little crevices and things.
Right, so the rock won't move.
And do you have plans to make this fish pond operational again?
We would not probably put this our pond in operation. Right now we're just making a wall to put the life back in the wall, which would be the opihi, the PPE, the hayuki, the vana, the crab, the puhi, all of those stuff will, if we build a wall, they go in the wall, they will come. For me to make it commercial, in today's process, I have to have a Board of Health certificate. And I have to make sure that the quality of the water, ciguatera doesn't appear, the oxygen, the turbidity, the salinity, the ammonia, all of that would have to be tested, saying that this water will not create any disease to hurt you. That's the process. The Hawaiian process was just go eat the fish before, but the process is because we have a lot of chemicals that were put in on our land and has washed off into the ocean now. And so the process of the food service or Board of Health service requires us to go to a process that no longer make me on Hawaii, So as a Hawaiian, I cannot go through that process because that wasn't our process. We still eat the fish here, and it's still okay for us. So, but in this other process, saying it's not okay.
In your own management of the fish pond, how would you know that it was healthy? What would you look for to know that it's healthy?
Well, obviously, if my fish pond wasn't healthy, I would be looking at Ho'ailona, which is a sign. So if I had dead fish floating on my sand, that was a sign that something's going on wrong with my ocean. The other thing is the ama tells me that my pond is healthy. The sea cucumber, the opihi, the eel, these are other animals that are in the wall, And those white things you see over there, these are coralline. This is what people, the sea animals eat on, These are the PPE. So if the PPE wasn't on the rock, then it tells me there's something wrong with my pond. Besides the fish, we have a lot of limo in here. We have limo ele on the outside. We had vai ole, huli vaina, limo pepe. So besides the algae, besides the ER, they had a really healthy diet. We have 3 other ponds. We have 4 more ponds. We have a bigger pond down there, 33 acres underwater, like this. So we have enough work here for the next 100 years for our kids.
You're watching Voice of the Sea.
Education is a powerful tool. So for our people to get connected, like the element of the wind, the kamakani, the element of the sun, the moon, the element of the sound of the sea, and the different things that you see on the ocean will tell you some things. We call it Nopo'e Honua, which is the people of the land. Nopo'e Moana, the people of the sea. Nopo'e Olani, the people of the heaven. So the clouds will tell you what's going on. And the sun will give you a direction of where we're going. And so is the stars, and so is the moon. So when we talk about Nopo'e Olani, it speaks about the ancient people that's gone with the knowledge. Yeah? But besides the knowledge, there's other knowledge up there that's physically shown to you what's going to happen. And same with the land. The people of the land are going to tell you what's happening. The animals going to take off if there's something happening on the land. The birds are going to get off the ground. They're going to fly. We cannot fly, but they're going to fly. If they start flying fierce, real fearful, you know there's something happening. You know what I mean? So to get our people connected, they would have to come what they call holo ka holo o lelo ka lelo. Walk the walk and talk the talk. They need to come down in hana ka lima. They need to come and work. They need to work the loko ia, work the honua, like the taro, like the honua, they gotta work the ocean, they gotta work the wall. So hana ka lima is this is my hand. Hana is the work. Yeah? What I put in is what I get out. So if I put no work in, I have no knowledge. It's not going to be given to you. You have to work for it. You know. So to connect our people, we educate them in how, today they call it self-sustainability. Sustainability is being maka'ala, being a smart person and knowing the resources you have. If we had no place to go, you think we're going to die today?
No.
No, we're not going to die. We're going to find the things to make live. We will learn everything green we can eat. Irregardless what it is, we can eat them. We're going to learn everything on the wall to eat, you know? And if we don't have water here, we're going to look for water. The fish that we raise, which is mullet, moi, and ava, those are the 3 different fishes they raise in a pond. They couldn't raise the other fish. They're too wild, so I don't know if you know. We have manini, pole, kala, palani, maiko, pualo. So all these fish we can raise them because it's hard to tame them. You know what I mean? Hard to culture them. We do everything with the moon. We're going to just take when we want to take. The moon will tell us when the thing has got babies, when not to take and what to take. Every moon phase is different from different side of the island. So I might be able to harvest, but the person in Hana might not. It's not going to be the same for the whole island. They say that listen to the voices of the sea, listen to the voices of the land, and listen to the voices of the heaven. They have a message for us.
The ancient Hawaiians built fish ponds near freshwater streams. The baby fish on the outside of the pond were attracted at low tide to swim into the pond because of the smell of the nutrient-rich brackish water. As the fish live in the pond, they grow fat, eating algae and plankton. When the tide rises, the adult fish are attracted to the salt water and try to leave the pond. But unfortunately, they can't get out because they're too fat to fit through the gate. So the design of all Hawaiian fish ponds, where they place their gates, how close they place the fish pond to the streams, was actually all tied into the lunar cycle, because ultimately, knowing and understanding when the moon was going to be full and when the moon was going to be new was very important to knowing when you can eat, when you can harvest the fish.
Executive Director Joylyn Paman shares an oli written to celebrate the Ko'ia'ie Loko Ia.
In order to enjoy the site, you have to really be in the right frame of mind. So that's what the oli does for someone who comes and visits us.
And when you're performing the oli, what are you thinking about? What is in your mind?
Oh my goodness. It's really a spiritual moment because just doing an oli, you're connecting to your culture. And myself, being a native Hawaiian, I take that definitely to heart. I feel the words and I know that as I speak them, I'm bringing life to the words. So every vowel, every syllable that I'm saying, I'm putting my own mana or my own spirit into it, because if I put my 100% best into it, then I know that the people who are receiving this oli can also feel the love that I have for this fish pond.
Malie o Maui ke ahea he makani o hale akala. He makani o nauna I ke alali poa. O ka ono ululai ka aina o kulala ie. He kai malino, kai olu olu, kai ma oki oki la. He kai kapua kanalo ai. Kuhula lanina au au ke kuapa. Ina po haku ho eu I ka lepo lai. Really ia ko ia paa. Ko ie o ka uka. Ea ka loko I a kapua nā li'i kaulana vivo ole la. Nā li'i pio ole. Pi ia e ke kapu ka velua li'i o Maui nui a kama. E komo mai e nā hoa nā kūkulu nā pae. E komo mai a hana ia hewa kauaha. E ano kauku. Ahe leo wale no.
Our fish pond, it is a resource for marine organisms and for the marine environment. But from a cultural standpoint, it's a great way for us to reconnect with our culture.
And if you could reach your ideal goal, what would it be?
My ideal goal would be to have the fish pond wall completely restored, filled with fish, and be able to provide it for the community, but at the same time use the fish pond as a learning environment for our youth so that they can understand how remarkable our ancestors were as aquaculture farmers and how smart they were, and to try to use that knowledge for the future. For us at this moment, we are enjoying this fish pond because centuries ago, other people had taken care of the fish pond, and without them doing what they did, we couldn't appreciate it now. So when you think about where we are in time, we need to do what we can now to take care of this pond for future generations to enjoy.
The University of Hawaii Sea Grant College Program, helping coastal communities of Hawaii and the Pacific through research, education, and outreach. Serving the community from elementary to graduate students. Hawaii Sea Grant.
Exploring Our Fluid Earth is the dynamic curriculum developed by the University of Hawaii's Curriculum Research and Development Group. The award-winning Fluid Earth and Living Ocean textbooks are now interactive and online. New activities, updated content, and a teacher community. Exploring Our Fluid Earth is now freely available. Find out more at exploringourfluidearth.org.